All right, so video number 2 is going to focus primarily on our school-wide Granville Central Staff Handbook and Granville County Public Schools Employee Handbook. I'm not going to read it all to you. You can read that on your own. It is your responsibility to make sure you fully understand all information within both handbooks. Our staff handbook here at Granville Central, we are going to break down some of the key information in multiple videos throughout your opening week playlist. But the Granville County Public Schools Employee Handbook is brand new, and so it's super important that you read that completely through and make sure you can understand all information contained within that handbook. So in this video, I want to start off just by showing you our Panther portal. This is a platform and location where you will be able to access everything. You will have this on Tuesday to be able to locate any information talked about within these videos. It is a great one-stop shop for all your information to be. In this top left corner is where our handbooks are located, and so we are going to start with our staff handbook. Again, am going to go over different pieces throughout different videos. In this video, we're just going to talk about some basic logistics. First thing is our building map. I would encourage you to make sure you look at it. Some staff have moved classrooms, and we want to make sure you just know where everybody is at and where you can locate people and know which offices they are in if you need support. So just make sure you take a glance at this. Make sure you have it printed out for your room, for your emergency plans, and for your safety and evacuation purposes. The next thing I want to show you is our staff directory. So make sure you have a copy by your phone in your office and in your classroom so that you can contact the front desk, administration, other teachers if you need support. The first tab you will notice is by grade level. The second tab is alphabetical. So both of those are super helpful and can be supportive if you are looking for ways to contact. Extension is how you will use your black phones in order to contact that classroom. Next thing we're going to look at is our bell schedule. So there are multiple schedules for delays within the portal, but we're just going to look at the master bell schedule. Each grade level has a column on the schedule, electives being at the end, and you will notice that for the most part they are aligned with one exception down at lunch and patio. Each team will have either lunch first, patio second, or patio first, lunch second. We'll talk about that specifically in a separate video. We will also go through kind of our transition processes between classes, but I wanted to make sure you understand how to read this and look at this. So we go through 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, and electives. If you have specific questions, please make sure you see your team lead for support. I also linked in the portal the Granville County calendar so you can see when our required and optional work days are, our holidays, and our annual days. Just a reminder, for annual days, you can use flex time. I'll talk about that in just a minute, but making sure you know where to access this. But all of this information is uploaded on our Granville Central Google Calendar. There is a link in your opening checklist to make sure you join and add that to your calendar, your personal calendar, so you see all the events that are happening. So all of our meetings are on there, which is next in this conversation, but also all the information from our Granville County school calendar, as well as events at school. So next is our meeting calendar. This goes over all of our specific meetings that we have. We do PLC every Tuesday. You'll see this in the instructional expectations. We'll talk about PLCs. We'll have a PLC this week on Thursday as well, where we'll go through PLC expectations. We will do team talk meetings, which is when we talk about kids. We talk about how they're performing with our teammates academically, but also behavior and attendance concerns. You'll do that with your counselor as well as your grade level administrator. Times are on the side, and those meetings are 30 minutes. MTSS is a committee that talks about interventions and different tiered support. This is something that we're really going to try and push and build and create here at Granville Central. It is something we have not done as great with this past year and really want to improve on. So if that's something you're interested in, when we have our grade level meetings this week on Wednesday, you're going to sign up for a committee. So MTSS meets on the fourth Monday. As a staff, we will always meet on the second Monday of the month. That's just a time where we go over all important logistics and often we'll have professional development during those meetings as well. School improvement team meets on the first Monday. Everybody is welcome to attend. We do have a committee made up of your grade level leads, and those staff members are present and will be your voice if you have concerns or anything that you need to share with our school improvement team. Our student services team is made up of primarily our counseling, our social worker, our nurse, our data manager, and our administration. That's when we talk about students and kind of how they're performing with attendance in regards to attendance or sometimes behavior, and sometimes we look at outside factors that are occurring for students. Hospitality is our fun committee. They are the ones that do all the monthly fun celebrations and our holiday celebrations. So if that's something you're interested in, those will be meeting monthly, or I'm sorry, quarterly, and any additional necessary. PBIS is for positive behavior. That's who talks about Claw Cash and PBIS celebrations. Our PTO meets on the second Monday of the month. If you're interested, it's open to everybody. We love to have teachers there to have a voice and represent. And then Family Engagement and Cultural Committee meet on the first Thursday of the month. All right, just a few logistics to talk about entering the building. So when you enter the building at Granville Central, this is new, so even my returning staff, please make sure you hear this part. When you enter the building, all staff enter through the bus lot this year. We are going to be upgrading our security system later in the school year, and we are required to have a single entry point for students and staff for our new security system, which is exciting, but we are going to go ahead and start that process now. All staff is expected to be on campus by 8 a.m. every single day. The sign in station for Timekeeper is located in the downstairs staff lounge, which is right across from Miss Blake and Miss Bailey's classroom. Please make sure that you use Timekeeper to clock in every single day by the mailbox and check your mailbox daily. Homeroom teachers and elective teachers, please make sure you are at your duty location by 8:05. For homeroom teachers, that means you are at your door greeting your students and excited to welcome them to your classroom. Students will arrive and begin entering the building at 7:55, and we will hold them in the cafeteria area until they are ready to dismiss. I'll talk about that more when I get to duties, dismissal, and arrival. Other things, please make sure you check your email twice a day. I know it's hard and we have a lot going on, but we want to make sure that you are staying up to date with information that is going on throughout the day, keeping up if parents are reaching out for you for any important information. Lastly, for logistics, make sure that you are not on your personal devices. They can be on vibrate. We know things happen. I definitely will have mine just because I also have a kiddo and want to make sure that I can access him if something is happening. But just keep your phones on vibrate and make sure we're not wearing AirPods or Bluetooth headphones around the building. If you are on planning in your classroom, that is totally fine. But just when you are out and transitioning and engaging with students, please make sure that AirPods are away at all times. Okay, looking at this kind of part two, the Granville County Public Schools Employee Handbook. This is a big one. It is going to be a lot to dive into. It is a lot of information, but it's essential for your job, and you are responsible for all information contained within. It includes all our board policies to make sure you know exactly what you are held responsible for from a district perspective. A couple things I want to point out here are the dress code. Something I'm not going to scroll to that page on here, but just so you can make sure when you get to that point that you read over the dress code, because while we have an excellent dress code in Granville County, they are updating it just a little bit. So t-shirts will only be allowed to be worn on Fridays, and it will need to be applicable to whatever event we're having. So always a Granville Central shirt is allowed, but we will often have college days that we can represent that, or it may be Hispanic Heritage Month or Black History Month, that those will be acceptable, or other Spirit Week events. Another thing is the leave. policies. So please make sure you look over that. I'll talk about leave in detail when I talk about emergency subplans and leave expectations, but read that in detail, specifically leave without pay and personal leave. Those are super important to understand, as they will or could potentially bring a penalty to you if you utilize those two leaves inappropriately. And then the last one I want to make sure that I reiterate and that you look at is the extra duty responsibility. So, as a Granville County employee, extra duties are a part of your job expectation. So, the extra duties that I have listed within our sign up, so the athletic duties, afternoon duties, committee expectations, signing up for dances, those are things that are part of your job responsibility per the Granville County Employee Handbook. Also, if there's ever a need for athletics, those are things that can be something you're held responsible for. So that's a little overview of both handbooks. Again, for our Granville Central Middle School staff handbook, I'll go into more detail through different videos, but for the employee handbook, you will have a quiz that's on your opening checklist that kind of goes through different highlights to have you encouraged to go look at certain spaces. While we don't go through everything in that quiz, and I didn't go through everything in this video, please know that you are responsible for all of that information, and we'll sign off that you have read and understand it.